I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes.
Alright, so today we're going to be looking at Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day. Of course, one of my favorites. A bunch of pretty simple chords in this one, really achievable. Got some power chords. There's even a guitar solo I can show you on this one to play on acoustic. An outro that nobody cares about, but I'll show you it anyway. And it's a really recognizable strumming pattern with a good chord progression behind it and really easy to get under your fingers. So let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start with capo, first fret, standard tuning. I'm going to kind of run through all the chords here so that you've got a good idea of just the chord fingerings, and then we can just kind of go through the progression and kind of speed run through the song. Alright, so I can start with an E minor. I've got that with my middle and my ring finger on the 3rd fret and the of the A and the D string. And then you're going to strum that all the way through. I'm going to play a G chord, G5 here. I've got my middle finger catching the 4th fret on the low E string. My ring finger is catching the B string. My pinky is going to catch the high E string, 4th fret. And then your middle finger should kind of naturally mute the A string. And then you can strum it all the way through. Just like that. Then, for the chord progression, you've got a common finger here. You're going to hold this ring finger on the same 4th fret of the B string there and grab your D by putting your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the high E and my pointer finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, and then strumming that from the D string down. And then we've got an A. You can play it like this, but I am going to play it as a bar, just with my pointer finger from the A string open, and then the D, G, and B string I'm going to bar with my 1st finger. And then you don't need that high E in there. It doesn't really matter. Just like that. So then you're going to have a B power chord. So I'm going to put my pointer finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and then your ring finger is going to grab the 5th fret of the D string. And you can play just those 2 notes. That's technically a B power chord. But they show it, you can add the pinky on the 5th fret of the G string. You can do that if you want, but what you need to do is, if you're going to be strumming that down, you don't want to catch any of the strings below it, so the B or the E, and you don't want to grab the low E either. So what I do, typically, if you can do it, is kind of do a mini bar with your ring finger on the D and the G string. Play both of those with just the 1 finger, and then play your pointer finger on that 3rd. Just like that. Alright, so then that's your power chord shape, and you're going to use that for the B on the 3rd fret and your C on the 4th fret. Just going to move that one up. Then we're going to have a G power chord as well, which is the same exact thing, same power chord shape, just move it down to the E, or the low E string, and then do the same shape. So you're going to have your pointer finger on the 3rd fret of the E, your mini bar, or whatever you choose to finger, is going to be on the 5th of the A and the D now. Just like that. D power chord, same shape. We're back up on the A string with my pointer finger, and then the D and the G with my sort of bar there. And that's going to be on the 6th fret. Right there. Then we got an E power chord, and that's just going to be basically the start of a E major, but I'm just going to play with 1 finger. I'm going to grab the low E open and the 3rd fret of the A string with my pointer finger, and that's going to grab the 3rd fret of the D string as well. Okay. And then those two last chords, they're a little weird, so we'll get to those once we get to the outro. Again, I wouldn't even worry too much about the outro because it's kind of niche on the acoustic anyway. So, all right. So for the verse, you're gonna have E minor, to a G, to a D, to an A, and that's just gonna repeat for the entire verse all the way until you get to the chorus. But what really makes this is the strumming pattern that you do for the entire verse. Actually, I think you use it for the chorus as well. It's a little variated for the chorus because it's a little faster between the chord changes, but it's pretty much the same pattern. What you're going to do is you're going to go down, 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 and on that third down, I'm going to like really accent that, like really dig in a little bit more compared to the first two. So down, 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 up, down, 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 up. So if you want to follow along, it's going to go like this. Just like that. So if you add the chords to it, what you get is this. So then you're going to do the same thing all the way until you get right before the chorus, and you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to go, and then we're going to go to that B power chord right on the 3rd fret. Just like that. So then we're on to the chorus. So the chorus is pretty much the same, like I said, but it's going to move a little bit faster, but pretty much same kind of strumming with the right hand. So then for the chorus, we're gonna have pretty much the same thing, same sort of strumming pattern, but it's going to move just a little bit faster. So we're going to be using pretty much all those power chords that we talked about before. I'm going to correct myself here. Earlier I said G is on the 3rd fret. For this song with the capo on the 1st fret, it's actually on the 4th. Right there, because that's where we've been playing our G this whole time. So, that out of the way, we're going to start with a C, to the G, to our D that's on the 6th, to the E power chord. C, G, D, E. So that's going to go, again, same sort of strumming pattern, and go. Just kind of repeats. And then when you get to the end, then you're going to go from that G to the B. And you're just going to kind of sit on that before it gets back into the verse, or the interlude first, I guess, and then the verse. So the chorus is going to sound like this to the end. The verse. That's kind of the part where he's going that's the interlude that comes before it. All right, so for the guitar solo here, you're going to come all the way up to the 10th fret on the G string, and all of these notes he's kind of just hitting over and over. I'll show you in a second, but the sort of like melody is he only hits them a certain amount of times throughout the song. and you'll hear what I'm trying to like get across here in a second. So I'll show you the notes first though. So 10th fret on the G string. Then we're going to go on the 8th of the B to the 9th of the B. Just like that. Then I'm going to slide all the way up to the 13 on the B. Then drop that down to the 11th on the B. And then I'm going to come back down to the 8 and go back onto the 9. So again, kind of what I was trying to say before. Very simply put, it's like this. But he's just going to kind of keep hitting those for the solo, so it's going to go like this. And then on the last one, you're going to get to this point where you come back down to the 11 on the B, and he's going to go back up to the 13. That's the entire solo. We are back into the verse one more time, and then a chorus, and then we have the weird outro. Alright, so for the outro, we're going to do pretty much all power chords here, and then we've got those two weird ones that I kind of referred to before. The weirdest one is going to be that D sharp 5. So it's just going to be on the 2nd fret. I'm going to play the A and the D string with my pointer finger, and that's it. It's just going to be just those two notes. And then you've got that A over C sharp, and that's just, it sounds weird, but it's literally just, I'm just going to drop the D that we have right before it down 1 fret, and that will sound exactly what you need. So, put simply, going through this outro, it's going to go like this. So I paused on those two new chords. So you're going to come up to that D on the 6th that we've been playing. And you're just going to drop it down to the 5th fret. And that's going to be your C sharp. The A part, nobody cares. You're not going to hear it. So, and then you're going to drop that G down to that weird double stop on the A and the D string there. And then you're going to do that 3 times. You're just going to repeat that 3 times. And then on the 4th time, to end the song, he just hits the G and then that weird D chord twice. He just goes boom, boom. So if we're playing through that, it's going to sound like this. And that's it. Alright, so that was Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, enjoy.
I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one.